Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Cooper. Today I'll be talking about Dante's Inferno and Canto 20. So just kind of overviewing what happens in this canto and where it takes place. Canto 20 brings us to the eighth circle of the city Malabolge. Um, there's 10 different levels, and these bolgias that they're in there in the fourth bolgia, these are like a ditch or a pit where the condemned lay, and they all punish a different kind of sin. The sin we're talking about in Canto 20 is um, divination or astrology. So basically, the people punished here in this Bolgia were seeking out other ways to look into the future, whether that be modern day fortune telling. They were not following um, divine or the Roman Catholic Church. So, like I said, the sinners attempted to see the future through forbidden means, soothsayers, astrologers, and false prophets. And Dante and Virgil descend into this Bolgia and observe the damned. So, getting into some of the key characters they meet. Last time I had Canto 10, which had over 1,000 Epicureans, but in this canto, it's far less number of key characters. One is Apharius. He was Greek. He saw his own death in, I believe, the seventh battle of um, something along those lines. Tiresias, who was a Theban prophet, they changed their gender twice. Excuse me. Um, Our Aaron's, the Etruscan seer who foretold events of the future from a cave. So this is like your modern day fortune teller, in my opinion. And then Manto, we'll get into her a little more deeply in a couple slides, but the daughter of Mantua, she fled and founded Mantua, which is Virgil's hometown. Other characters mentioned are Michael Scott, and Guido Boniti. So the punishment, right? How are they punished for their sins in this Bolgia? So it's rather symbolic and grotesque, if you ask me. These sinners are forced to live an eternity of their life with their head facing backwards on their body. So you're standing up proud and tall, but your head is just completely 180 degrees reversed. So they essentially walk backwards. This is quite symbolic, right? Because they're being punished by forever looking backwards for trying to see into the future. Um, Tears flow down their backs is an important detail mentioned. And then the concept, we'll get into this again a little bit further in a couple slides, but the concept of contrapasso, so kind of the irony of how they saw it too far ahead, forced to look backward. So twisting the truth of the future resulted in twisting of their own bodies. So as I mentioned 2 slides ago, we're going to get into Mantua's story a little bit deeper, the founding of Mantua. Virgil does not dispute that Mantua's role in the creation of the city is there. By the way, Mantua is a city, not a person, if you thought so. Virgil explains that when Mantua fled, she settled for one, and what I mean by this is she settled alone. She was the sole inhabitant of Mantua. And then later, others gathered in that same area where she originally settled, and they named it Mantua after Manto. So Virgil claims he is correcting a false report here because he does this based on the common theme of this canto, outlining the difference between truth and lie, and that you can't see into the future. All right, so getting on to more on how Dante reacts to this punishment and what he kind of goes through in this canto. When he first sees the damned in this Bolgia, he's overcome with sadness. He pities the damned. He weeps for them, it mentions. But Virgil is quick to correct him. He reminds Dante that feeling pity for them is wrong and their sins are being punished justly, which is something that Dante has obviously been going through in this whole piece, is that he's learning the justfulness of God, or the justness of what hell is. As I was kind of getting at there, this is an important moment. Dante makes more progress on his spiritual journey, not only his journey through hell per se, but his spiritual journey, and he's feeling pity towards these damned when he shouldn't. And also, as Dante is a poet himself, and many of these people damned on this level are also poets or similar professions, Dante learns that true prophecy comes from divine intervention and not sorcery or manipulation or looking into the future. So yeah, again, just kind of reiterating the whole slide, a deeper meaning regarding his journey, not just a journey through hell, but a journey toward moral clarity. So continuing on the actual punishment and some common themes throughout Canto 20, divine justice versus human sympathy, right? We just talked about how Dante's compassion is questioned and reshaped by Virgil, whereas one's instinct would be to weep for these people and seeing the grotesque, punishment they're receiving. Virgil reminds him that this is an accurate and just punishment. And so then obviously vision, right? Both literally and metaphorically. In this canto, we have vision being obstructed by being turned around. If you recall, I know I have a bullet there. You recall in canto 10, they couldn't see the past, but they could see the future. And I know that doesn't mean literally with their eyes, but there's this common theme of vision throughout these cantos I got to present, and I wanted to connect that. I did mention contrapasso earlier. This is common in a lot of the cantos, I'm sure you would agree. Common theme through the entire Inferno. The punishment they endure directly correlates to the sin they have committed. So to draw this connection to both Canto 10 and 20 that I did, in Canto 10, they were only able to see the future and not the past. And I interpret that as because they didn't believe in the afterlife and they were focused on now they're only able to see in the future the afterlife and they can't see, what's going on now, present day. And then obviously in this canto, because they tried to see in the future, they're now forced to literally look backwards their entire life. So in summary, to wrap it up, the sin being punished here is the false prophecy. I used some other terms earlier on, but punished by their heads being twisted backwards on their bodies, walking backwards, tears run down their backs, just mangled bodies, if you will. It's important to mention Dante's emotional response yet again, how he, I don't want to say overreacted, but how he initially reacted and how Virgil corrects this reaction. And then lastly, vision, as I got into, we're seeing it in several cantos now, and how we can interpret that on multiple levels, both obviously the physical vision as well as metaphorically. And the moral takeaway is that compassion must be aligned with justice, and knowledge must be obtained through faith and not through forbidden means. And what I'm kind of getting at there is you can't feel sorry for somebody that has committed crime in today's day and age, right? You wouldn't be sorry for somebody who's going to prison for the rest of their life if they deserved it, right? If they committed a heinous act. And then it's kind of the same with knowledge must be obtained through faith and not through forbidden means. Obviously, this means the soothsayers and fortune tellers and whatnot. It's especially in this era of history, your moral compass has to be guided by faith and nothing else.